Some of us writers get our best writing done at night, like late night, early morning. So if you are that type of writer or creator, then come on in and let's do some work together. It's been a little minute since we've done a live writing session, um, writing with Delores, and so I'm excited to come to you. We've got a few things to work on. Just because we haven't done this together in a minute doesn't mean that we have not been doing the work necessary behind the scenes, which I have. So those are all my notifications. Make sure that you are subscribed to my page and that you have on your notifications so that you can get alerts every time I go live. So if you heard the little ding, that was my cell phone letting me know that I'm live. And so you can get those messages too if you click the notification bell and select to be notified anytime that I go live. And just go ahead and do that, even if this isn't your vibe, necessarily doing the writing sessions, or some of the other great content that I create may not be your vibe, and this is your vibe. So what? Like, just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it, child. Okay, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification, so we can keep in touch. So last time we did a writing session, we left off with these Yearn to Discern videos, and these are live reading sessions that I did for the A Yearn to Discern book by R.L. Mako. I love this book, you guys, so I wanted to share it with y'all. Now, I did these videos, like, how long ago did I do these? These have to, okay, this says a year ago. Okay, so y'all see that right there. It says a year ago. So yeah, like these videos are not new, you guys. So you guys can go over to my YouTube page, Delores the Pastor's Daughter, and get some great content, some playlists. This is a podcast playlist that you can find right there over on my channel. And you can listen to the entire book being read to you and with my commentary in betwixt. And so let's go ahead and listen to chapter 4. I don't think we've listened to this one yet. So let's listen to this one as we do some live writing. And as you can see, on one side of your screen is my YouTube page. And then on the other side, the right side of your screen, you'll see my agent proposal. So, you guys, I need you guys to pray with me, okay? Stand in agreement with me, child, because I am on the lookout for an agent. I need an agent. I realize now that this vision is much too big for me to, carry it all by myself. So I think, we've reached a point in the process where, we need to bring on someone who has, who can see my vision, and help to steer it in the right direction, to promote it, to make sure that it reaches the masses of daughters that it is intended to help. So you'll see this. This is my agent proposal. It's something that I'm currently working on, but I wanted to go ahead and share it with y'all so that, I know my prayer warriors and such will, um, get on their knees for me. So, you know, um, send up a prayer for me, and also let me know if you have any connections to people who are agents who you believe will be a perfect match for me and this vision that God has given me. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll just listen to this chapter 4, what discernment is not. Okay, what discernment is not. So let's go. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time you happen to be listening to this podcast. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. My name is Delores. I am your discernment and relationship coach, honey. Okay. And we are back with another video about discernment. Okay, we are digging in, and I hope you all have really been enjoying this series on discernment. I mean, y'all, listen, I feel so enriched and empowered, enlightened, and I mean, I just feel so ready, okay, like to make all the best decisions for my life just by going through this series about discernment. I mean, how many times have we heard people say, use your discernment? Where's your discernment? But we never really knew exactly what it was, how powerful it could be in our lives, how to use it exactly. It's just like now we know, and now we are equipped, right, with all of the right information to make the best decisions in our lives, to propel us forward, to be our best selves, right? And not only that, but to enrich those around us, right, in our world as a whole. Okay, so listen, let's get into it, honey. We are about to do chapter 4, right? The beginning of chapter 4. Now, this chapter is a long chapter, okay? But we are going to get into some examples. Like, there's a whole, like, scenario in here. So, y'all, we are going to get into it. So, go ahead and like the video, share the video, tell a friend to come on and jump on, okay? Because everybody, lottie dottie, everybody needs to know about discernment. And I will be right back. Get in here, honey. Get on in here. Let's talk. Okay, let's talk. Let's get into it. Let me go back. Hold on. I'm on the wrong page, child. I'm on the wrong page. Look, y'all see this story? We're about to get into this story. This is about to be so juicy. Look, you see it, not my emergency, honey. We're about to get into this story, about to be so juicy. I feel it. I feel it in my spirit, honey. Okay. Now, I do need to let you guys know. You guys know I've read this book before. You can see all my highlights in it, right? But it's actually been a while. It's been a good while since I've read this book. So I don't remember all the scenarios in this book. So this is like genuine excitement. This is genuine excitement that I have right now over these stories because I really don't remember all of them, even though I've read it before. Okay. So let's do a really quick recap. Okay. Let's do a real quick recap because yesterday, listen, when we got into this discussion about discernment,
Daughters,
we talked about
have you
what
ever walked
discernment
into a
is.
room
Okay.
and felt something before anyone said a word? Have you ever caught a lie wrapped in a compliment? Or watched everyone around?
Today, we are going to talk about what discernment is not. Do you hear me? Okay. R.L. Mako, who is the author of this book, y'all, when I tell y'all she covered the bases, do you hear me? She covered the bases. Okay. She said the people are not going to be confused at all. The people will not be confused. Okay. So yesterday, right, we talked about what discernment is. Okay. We talked about what discernment is and what did we come up with? What did we come up with here? Let me show you. Let me put it on the screen, honey. Okay. Listen. Okay, discernment, having the ability to sift through different types of information, constant adversity, and potential threats in life while consistently making appropriate choices, rational judgments, and proper decisions that will propel you forward with the steadfast purpose of improving your life and ultimately improving the world around you. Y'all, I'm telling you, yesterday we got so much good news. I'm telling you, this is a good news book. This is a good news book, okay? To go a bit further, this is what she said. The true intent of discernment is to keep you and your actions in line with your ultimate path in life, right? Not even your mother's wisdom can compete with discernment. Why? Because discernment is about navigating your way, in the midst of dealing with the daily chaos of life. While your mother can see the pitfalls in certain places that you are venturing into based upon her experience going down certain roads before you, your mother cannot know completely your path in life because her perspective, just like anyone else's perspective, is colored by her own experiences and perceptions of life and existence. And although your mother may be right 99.99999% of the time, okay, she may not know you better than, and she may know you better than anyone else, right? Ultimately, she doesn't know what your path in life is and cannot dictate your path unless you give her the power to do so. But I would encourage you, friends, daughters, discerners, don't allow that to happen, right? Live your life.
Yeah,
Walk your own
why
path.
this is
Be
buffering
in the
so
driver's
much?
seat of
Like,
your own
what is
life.
going on
And
here?
don't give that power to anyone.
I don't know why it's doing this. But I wonder if it was happening like at the time when I initially recorded it, which it may be the case. I don't know. But let's just continue watching it. And if it gets on y'all nerves, and I understand if you don't want to stay and listen to it, because I mean I guess that's kind of annoying. But I did speed it up to 1.5 speed, 1.5 speed. So um, it's not kind of like dragging out. Um, so yeah, let's continue. And sorry about the buffering, you guys.
Because you were meant to have it. And now with discernment, you are equipped because discernment is the navigation system. Isn't that what we talked about yesterday? That's your ultimate GPS. And even if you are not clear right now exactly what your purpose is in life, discernment is your key to finding out what your purpose is. Because as we grow in discernment, as we build this foundation and we keep building and we keep building, we become more in tune with what God's will is for our life, right? What God's will is, AKA what our purpose is. This is why I am so against. Listen, let me go ahead and pull it up right now since we're talking about it. I am so against the religious narcissist because a religious narcissist, their purpose is to deceive you. And when they are deceiving you, right? Guess what? The antidote. Guess what? Your secret weapon is your superpower is when it comes to the deception of the religious narcissist, when it comes to the deception of this world. Your antidote, your secret weapon, your superpower is discernment. And as long as you are discerning, you cannot be deceived. Do you realize that? When you use discernment, you cannot be deceived. Child, but see, y'all not ready for that. Yeah, y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready for that. We still got to build, honey. Okay, we still got to build on this foundation. We're not ready to dig into that yet. Okay, so let's keep going. She said, right? We're doing a recap. We're doing a recap of yesterday. At a minimum, right? Remember we talked about the discernment spectrum. In fact, let me just go back. Let me go back so you can see it for yourself. Let's go back. Okay. Remember the discernment spectrum. Okay. At a minimum, understanding and learning how to discern will allow one to take full advantage of prime opportunities that will present themselves, opportunities that will impact your life for the better. Like, don't you want that? Seriously. Like, ask yourself that question. Don't you want that? Even at the very minimum, that you will be able to take full advantage. And remember, I was telling y'all yesterday, right? How can minimum and full, okay, be in the same sentence? At a minimum, you're full. At a minimum, you are full,
right? When you understand and learn how to discern at a maximum. Number 2 here, understanding and learning how to discern can make the difference between life and death. Your life, your death. Think about it. Think about how many people have lost their lives taken. Because they did not use discernment. Think about how many people took a life, okay? Because there are multiple sides of this, right? Because a person whose life was taken likely did not.
Y'all, oh my God, this is so irritating. This is so irritating. I
Use
wonder.
discernment. But what we know
I
for
don't
sure
know. It's
is
like
that the person who took
I'm
the
kind
life,
of thinking that maybe this is like real time buffering because I don't know. I don't know why I think that. Let me see. Let me go to the next one and see if that one is the same way. Hold on.
definitely did.
Let me see. All right. Let's see. Let's go to this next one and see what happens.
Monday. Okay, listen. It is a great day to discern. Is it not? Is it not? It is a great day to discern every day. Okay, every day that ends in Y is a great day to discern. You guys, we are back. Okay, listen, we are back with another video podcast. Okay, on the Kingdom Code podcast, where we talk about everything discernment. Okay, because we are the Kingdom Code, which stands
Oh my God. Y'all, not the buffering again.
for
Yeah, I
a
think this is
community
probably
of
like
daughters
real
everywhere, a
time.
community of discerners everywhere. Yes, yeah, of course. It has 2 meanings. Of course, because y'all know me and y'all know I'm Team Extra, okay? My name is Delores, the pastor's daughter. I am your hostess with and doing the absolute mostest, okay? Okay, we are back, you guys. We are back, and I'm so excited. Listen, I've been telling y'all this entire time that I am so excited about this series. We are doing a book review of A Yearn to Discern, Finding Purpose and Fulfillment Through Discernment. And this is a book by R.L. Mako. And when I tell y'all she put her foot in this book, y'all know how to look, some of y'all might not be privy to that reference, okay? Now, when you say you put your foot in something, usually they're talking about food, right? They're like, she put her foot in that pie. She put her foot in them greens, right? Which means, which means that she put a lot of love, honey. It has a lot of flavor. It's good. It's good to the soul. It's good for the soul. It provides
No,
sustenance. It does the job.
this is so irritating.
Plus, honey,
Hold on.
it tastes so good. That's money
I think I probably
that we
got too
just
many
didn't have.
windows open. Y'all think I got too many
Person
windows
told us to pay,
open?
they to pay us
I
back, but we
probably
knew
have
that
too
person had a
many
track record
windows
of not paying us
open.
back. We knew, right? Maybe we didn't have it to give, but we gave it anyway, even when we had all the facts in front of us to know that we were going to be putting ourselves in the worst position by
Okay,
lending
if
this
it
money.
just
Y'all,
continues to
how
do it,
many
then I'm in the
times?
stream, but
So we'll get into it today. Let me give y'all just a few minutes to get on in here, honey.
it's
Get on in here.
irritating.
And if you're really taking this topic seriously, I know you got your good old notebook. I know you got your good old notebook and you're taking notes and you're applying these principles to your life. You're taking these reflective questions and really doing a good deep dive, internal look, self-awareness, self-analysis, the whole process of just deciding and determining where you stand and where you want to go on this foundation of discernment. Okay, so let me give y'all a few minutes to get on in here, honey. Like and share the video as you come in, and let's get ready to dive deep into this topic of discernment. Course, I am gearing up to launch my signature coaching program, okay? Where I help you make the best decisions of your life. And we are talking about in life, in all areas of your life and in love, right? Because I am your discernment and relationship coach, honey, okay? And we don't play about those things. We take those things very, very seriously, right? And we want to make the absolute best decisions that we can for ourselves and the ones that we love. But sometimes we need a little assistance, okay? A little assistance in that area. And I am your girl. I'm your girl that will assist you in your decision-making process. And so we will be doing that based on the principles of discernment, right? Of having that foundation of discernment. So I'm hoping that you have enjoyed this this lesson on discernment that we have gotten into. We are about, I would say, 25% through the book. Okay, so we're about 25% through the book. And what you can expect from me coming up is more discernment videos. Now, we are actually going to be putting these principles into practice, into play in our everyday lives, right? But on this channel, and I'm streaming 2 channels on YouTube, I believe, two Facebook pages and 2 Facebook groups, I believe. We are also on Twitter, I believe. So we are expanding and we are growing, and we are really getting this message of discernment out there. But you guys, I really need your help. I really need your help to get this message out there. Lottie dottie every doggone body. Okay? Lottie dottie everybody. Lottie dottie every doggone body needs to know about discernment.
Why did I say
so
that?
you can share this podcast, this episode, and I created a
Yeah, I'm so special. I don't know why it is buffering like this, but it's irritating. I might just need to let y'all go and like restart my computer. That's probably what I need to do. So I guess I'll go ahead and do that. And I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna feel like coming back because I'm kind of sleepy. Like I'm getting sleepy again. Kind of need to go to sleep. I don't know. Maybe I could take like an hour or 2 nap and then get back up and start writing some more, you guys. Ay. I know this buffering is getting on my nerves. For some reason, it's like it's draining me. Like it's making me tired. You know, like it's just making me tired that it's buffering.
a podcast playlist, right, on YouTube. So you can go to my YouTube page, the Kingdom Code Podcast. Excuse me. And just go ahead and listen to the entire playlist. That's going to take you from the very beginning of the book where we started and then and through today, right?
Let's just stick with
you
it
can
for
get
a
this
little
lesson.
bit,
You can
okay,
send that
guys?
playlist to somebody and just say, hey, go ahead and just tune in, you know what I'm saying? And get all into this playlist, honey, okay? Because we are digging deep into discernment. And I'm pretty sure this is probably as deep as you have ever gone in this subject. You've heard a lot about discernment. People have used it as a buzzword, but never really explaining how, never empowering you, never enriching you, never teaching you how to discern, how to activate this God-given gift that we all have. We all have discernment, y'all. Okay. So you are not trying to look for it. You don't have to sign up to receive, all I'm doing in Delores' daily dose of discernment is just giving you the antidote, right? The antidote, a daily antidote. Because from what I can see, you guys, from my research and my studies and what I have applied to my very own life is that when you have discernment, you cannot be deceived. Okay. So all the trickery that's out there, all the lies, all the gaslighting, all of the things, excuse me. It's like this daily dose of discernment. Discernment is like a repellent, it's the kryptonite. And I know we usually talk about kryptonite in terms of what's bad for Superman, right? But doesn't a deceiver, these religious narcissists, these narcissists that exist in our societies, don't they believe themselves to be Superman? Excuse me. Don't they believe themselves to be that? Discernment is that antidote. Discernment is that superpower that you need to battle this world that is full of deception. Okay. And so let's go ahead and dig in. Let's do a brief recap. Okay. Let me go back. Right. Let me go back. We are still in chapter 4. Remember, we talked about this scenario about about a guy who was like, his cousin called, right? He was like, Cuzzo. Okay. Look, I'm imagining it happen like this in my mind, right? Like, Cuzzo, okay, my power bill is about to get cut off. I need $300 at the cable company right now. I need you to come up here right now. Bring me $300 so I can pay my cable bill so my cable bill won't get cut off. This was a scenario. And of course, I'm telling it to you in my own special way. But we learned a lot through this story. And even though it was a pretty, I think it was a pretty humorous scenario. And we could take this same scenario and the principles that we learned while discussing that case and apply it to just about everything. How many times has someone made their situation, right, their lack of preparation, their financial irresponsibility, and other things that are going on in their lives, how many times have they made it not only our responsibility, but our emergency, right? And what ends up happening is you're not really able to make a discerning decision when you allow that sense of urgency, that sense of responsibility that does not belong to you, to actually influence you and influence your decision making. But sometimes we allow someone's sense of urgency, them making it something that is so important and just needed right now, that you don't even have time to think. You don't have time to think. What are the implications of this? Excuse me, you guys. Oh, something's tickling my throat. What are the implications of this? What are the potential pitfalls here? What are the negatives that can happen if I take on this person's problem? And not only if I take it on, but if I allow it to become my emergency, right? And so that was a scenario that we went over. In this chapter, we talked about what discernment is not, right? And so we talked about what discernment is. And while we are talking about that, let me go ahead and do this, put this on here. Discernment is having the ability to sift through different types of information, constant adversity, and potential threats in life, while consistently making appropriate choices, rational judgments, and proper decisions that will propel you forward with the steadfast purpose of improving your life and ultimately improving the world around you. Excuse me, and that is an excerpt straight from the book, straight from R.L. Michaels' A Yearn to Discern, Finding Purpose and Fulfillment Through Discernment. Now, let me go ahead and put up this quick copyright disclaimer, because you guys know we are doing a thorough and full review of this book, right? This book, A Yearn to Discern. Now, this is not my book. I didn't write this book. However, child, I feel like it was written for me, okay? She wrote this book for me, child. But this is not my book. And so I encourage you all to go and purchase this book. Go purchase this book. I'm telling you, this will be one of the best investments that you can make. And I've read this book, I think twice already. I think this may be my third time, this may be my second time. Excuse me. You see here, I was reading through the hard copy of the book, which I have, but this is the Kindle version of the book. And you see here where I've already included my highlights, some notes, sections, and all of that in the Kindle version of this book, because it's so good that I felt like I needed both versions. Okay. Like I need both of them. Like, give me both, honey, give me both. Speaking of which, you can totally buy my book the same way. Okay. You can get the Kindle version and you can get the hard copy version, honey. Okay. The paperback. Let me just go ahead and do a little shameless plug while we're at it, Just a little shameless plug here. Okay. This is my memoir, The Pastor's Daughter Provoked. Okay. And this book is what I would call real life discerning. Real life. Like, you will, when you read my book, you will see and witness my discernment process and how I discovered that my father was a religious narcissist, that he was engaging in spiritual abuse against family members, including myself, including my mother, and including the church members. And I uncovered this and exposed this. And I did this, I wrote this book based on a final phone call that I had with my father. This was the day that I left the church. And I guess you could pretty much say I denounced, my father's church, and left the church. The very next day, my father called me. And just like many people who have experienced spiritual abuse, but don't really understand all of the dynamics of it, it includes every other type of abuse, which is why I really feel like spiritual abuse is the worst type of abuse. Because what happens is these people typically engage in all other forms of abuse, right? But they validate, they escape accountability, they justify their behavior on spiritual concepts, spiritual beliefs, or the twisting and the distortion of spiritual beliefs and concepts. And so because we are all spiritual beings, this really hits at the core of who we are, right? At the core of why we were created and our purpose in this world. And it leaves people with feelings of being completely lost in who they were created to be. Okay? A religious narcissist is dangerous. They may not all be violent, okay? But I don't want you to get that confused to think that because they aren't violent, that they have not abused you or that you are not being abused. The religious narcissist has a lot of tactics. And one thing that you can be sure of is that even if they are not physically or sexually abusing you, they're more than likely doing it to someone. And so it becomes a collective effort that we not only are smart about these types of people, but that we expose them. We do not enable them. And we do not give them access to us or those that we love. But we have to be discerning individuals to know, how do we identify these people? And then once we identify them, how do we then carry ourselves to keep ourselves safe and those we love? Okay. So that was my shameless plug. Those are my 2 books. You can get them both on Kindle. This Religious Narcissist Decoded is a step-by-step guide to discerning the tactics and impact of religious narcissism. That is available in Kindle version, or you can get it completely free on my website. Okay. KingdomCoAcademy.com. Okay. KingdomCoAcademy.com. And let me, that is already in the description box, but let me go ahead and put it in the chat for you just to make it super easy. There's hyperlinks there so that all you have to do is click on the hyperlink that will take you directly to where you need to be, okay, to get both of those books whenever you can, okay? So I'll put that in the chat. That is posted in the chat. I'm going to pin it. That way it remains at the top of the chat. Can y'all hear that thunder, Jesus? Okay, let's get into it. So we did a bit of a brief recap here. Let's go ahead and get into this story, y'all, because I'm just so into it. Now, we talked about, of course, what discernment is not, right? And here she says, understanding what discernment is not is a key component to understanding when you are actually discerning. Okay, that's why we need to know. That's why we need to know what it's not, so that we're not shooting in the dark here, okay? Excuse me, you guys. Let me remove that from the screen. Okay. Remember, it's about sifting through information, good and bad information, in order to make the appropriate decisions for your life. Decisions that will protect you and yours, but decisions that will not require you to intentionally hurt others. Remember, we are not discerning for the purpose, right? Listen, discernment requires you to make judgments. Discernment is not about making judgments for the purpose of condemning, demeaning, degrading, diminishing, or devaluing another person in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So obviously, right? If you are doing that, if you are condemning, degrading, demeaning, diminishing, or devaluing anyone in any way, shape, or form, then you are not discerning. Okay? Discernment is simply not about being right or wrong, or about mindlessly passing judgment, or even about discriminating. Although, remember, although on some level, judging and discriminating are important aspects of the process of discerning. But here is your checks and balances system, right? Your checks and balances is you're not making judgments for the purpose of condemning, degrading, demeaning, diminishing, or devaluing anyone in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So now let's get into, we already talked about this one scenario. This one here where it says not my emergency, and all of the great life lessons and discerning lessons that we learned from that scenario. But let's go ahead and get into another scenario, y'all. You know, I live, honey, for these scenarios, because it shows you exactly how you can apply discernment to life scenarios. And I believe that a lot of times we'll think of discernment as some really grand spiritual concept that is out of reach for a lot of people, right? But it's not. Everyone has it. It's a matter of activating it and putting that muscle to practice, right? Putting that muscle to work in our lives, using it as our compass, as our GPS, as our navigation system for how we move about in this world, how we interact with people, the relationships we do and do not get into, the money that we do and do not spend, the time that we do and do not spend, the social media sites that we do and do not get on, the shows that we do and do not watch, right? Because discerning individuals know that they have to guard themselves. They have to guard themselves, their ear gates, their eyes. But we ain't even got into that yet, honey, okay? Because we talking about land and money today. So let's get into it. Now, here she says, let's look at another example where the crux of the matter is that someone is trying to place their problems in another person's lap. Okay? Example number 2, I just don't have it to give. I ain't got it, okay? I ain't got it. Here is the dilemma that is presented to you. You have a favorite cousin you adore. Oh my gosh, them cousins, y'all, them cousins. We done had 2 back-to-back cousin scenarios. Okay? Them cousins might get you every time, child. Okay? You have a favorite cousin you adore, a cousin who has helped you in the past by watching your children. Oh man, now we got them cousins that you feel like you owe them. Okay? You know that this cousin has a low-paying job. And as a single mother of 2 boys and 1 girl, she got 3 of them. One of her children is under the age of 11. No, all of her children, excuse me. All of her children are under the age of 11. Today, she calls and asks you for money. You are not in a financial position to lend money to anyone, but you do know that your financial position is better than your cousin's financial position. Ooh. Specifically, both you and your husband have good paying jobs, but you also have 4 children of your own, and one is in her first year of college. It is the beginning of fall, and all the kids are going back to school. Oh, y'all. Oh, y'all. Aren't we there right now? Like, aren't we there right now? This is gonna really hit home for somebody in real time. Excuse me. Because we are actually at that season right now. It's fall. The kids are going back to school. We probably got some, some kids that have just left the home, just got into their dorms, right? Oh my gosh. And y'all already know you got to move the kid. You got to get them set up in their dorm rooms. You got to decorate the room. You got to get them up there. You might have to get them a car because once they get up there, they need transportation while they, oh my goodness, all of the things. All of the things. Ooh. You have just enough money for tuition, clothes, and all the necessities for your children. That's all you got, sis. Oh, that's all you got, sis. You ain't got no more. You ain't got it. You ain't got it, okay? This is all you got. You got just enough. Just enough for tuition, clothes, and all the necessities for your chillings, okay? Not the kids. Not the kids. Not the little baby goats, but the chillings. The children, okay? You know we made big sacrifices for them chillings. You also have a sizable mortgage and made several repairs to the house over the summer that needed to be made. Basically, child, you tapped out. You are tapped out financially. You ain't got it. Okay? You ain't got it. Your cousin is in need of money to purchase a used car. She is receiving child support from the children's father. She does have a job that pays a little more than minimum wage, but she does not have enough money to purchase a car that costs $2,500. She has come to you for the full $2,500. Y'all, she needs you to give it all. She said, "Cuz I need you to pay this for this old car. I need a car, child." Ooh, child. What you gonna do, sis? What are you gonna do? I'm already feeling the stress for you, for my sisters in this position right now. She promises that she will pay you back in 3 weeks. Oh my goodness, not in no 3 weeks, not 2,500. Honey, she is not gonna pay you back. I can tell you that right now. I ain't even gotta read the rest of the story. She is not gonna pay you back in no 3 weeks, okay? So she promises that she will pay you back in 3 weeks. But you recall that she borrowed $1,000 from you 3 years ago. And you are still waiting to receive payment. She didn't even put $50 down on that 1,000 she owed you from 3 years ago, y'all. Child, what you gonna do? Oh, you got decisions to make. This family member is a great person. You love your cousin. I know you do. One of your favorites. What is your favorite cousin? And she watched your kids in the past. And your kids love and adore her, y'all. Oh my goodness. But you simply do not have the money to lend. And if you did decide to lend out money, you would definitely need the money back within the 3 weeks in order to fulfill certain needs for your family. Oh, y'all. Listen. I told you, my mama told me, honey, if you can't afford to just give it away, don't lend it, child, especially if you need it by a certain time period. And you already know, based on the history, she still owe you $1,000 from 3 years ago. She didn't put $50, $100 down on that last payment she owes you, child. And you need this. Like, if you don't get this money back in 3 weeks, you're gonna be in a lurch. Oh, child, this is tough. So now the question is, okay? Oh, we got to put on our thinking caps, honey, okay? The question is, considering all of this information, will you lend your cousin the money or not? Oh, child. Oh, decisions. How many of y'all, how many of us are in this position right now in real time? How many? Like, we were just set back, right? Because the kids went back to school. That means we got to pay for lunches again. I mean, granted, right? The kids went back to school, so now our grocery budget at home is better, okay? But now The kids are back at school, so now you got school lunches that you got to pay for. And then sometimes the kids have practices and they got all the things they got to do after school. So sometimes you can't even go home and really cook. So now you going through somebody's drive through. You need money for that. And then sometimes girl, not to mention you still got to pay your own car note. You still got to pay your own insurance. You just had a kid to go out to college. And it's not even close. The college isn't even close. So you already know that that's going to be another expense. You never know what kind of hidden fees are going to come up with that. Child need a new computer, new laptop. Child, all these class fees. And sometimes you got to front tuition before you can, before any other payment kicks in. So you already had to put that money out. What are you going to do, child? And then, in 3 weeks, mortgage is going to be coming due. So you're going to have this money. And your cousin said, this your favorite cousin, y'all. This your favorite cousin. Okay, this your girl. Like y'all been down like 4 flats since day one, since y'all was knee high to a grasshopper and everything. How do you make this choice? Now, do you just go off of okay, this is my cousin and this is my favorite and she has done stuff for me in the past, even though she hadn't paid me back, so she didn't do that. But my babies do adore her, and then that's my favorite cousin. I can always call on her when I want to talk and gossip about stuff. What y'all gonna do? Oh, this is child. Decisions. But how many times are we faced with these decisions in our everyday lives and we simply don't have some type of blueprint? A moment to really even gather our thoughts, put our emotions in check, put all the facts down, right? The pros and cons of the situation. We don't do the analysis of the situation, and then we end up in a worse situation. This is what discernment is all about in your everyday life, right? Is that even when you are presented with a scenario like this, and you've got all of these factors that really pull at your heartstrings, because I can totally understand, you just really want to help because that's your girl. You don't even really want to consider all the facts of the situation, that this person is not going to pay you back, that you really can't afford to give it, that if you do give it, you need it back, and you can't afford to not get it back. You're a whole married woman. How do you reconcile that with your husband? How do you reconcile that with your husband? Because more than likely, he's not even going to come from the perspective of these heartstrings that you have for your cousin. And think about how many marriages are at these major decision points that now this has caused stress between a married couple. Because we don't see eye to eye about lending money. Y'all, I'm telling you, this stuff goes deep. That's why you cannot afford to not be discerning in every decision that you make in your life. Everything you do, you need to use discernment. Now, let's keep going in the story, because Shada added my whole little 2 cents, everything to it. All right. Once again, all the information you need in order to make the right decision is available to you. Using your ability to discern, you should confidently conclude that you should not lend the family member the money. Why? Why, y'all? And she's going to ask you why too. So it's so you already feel the pressure to have to come up with the whole list of reasons you got to give your cousin to let her know, sis, I cannot do this. Okay? I ain't got it. First and foremost, you already know that you do not have the money to lend. You don't have it. And really, that should be the end of it. That's the end of the story. Because if you don't have it, you don't have it. Right? But for a lot of us, that is not the end of the story. That is not the end. We take it further, and we end up in a terrible situation ourselves. Now, all of the other factors and pieces of information just serve to create confusion, and will provoke you to act on emotion, right? And we just talk about this. Now, all of these factors are pulling at your heartstrings, right? You've already established first and foremost, you already know that you do not have the money to lend. You don't have it. You don't have it. But now, right? Because that wasn't the end of the story for you. Because you consider all of these other factors. Well, that's my favorite cousin. That's my girl. That's my girl. And how many conversations have we had, honey? I can't just ignore that. I can't ignore that. Like, we've been through the trenches together, right? We got this whole trauma bond situation going on. We understand each other. But how many times do we make decisions based off of those emotions and those things that pull at our heartstrings that really have no room in a discerning decision-making process? Because we already know, you don't have it. You don't have the money to lend. Okay? What is the biggest distractor in this scenario? What's the biggest distractor? What would be the biggest distractor for you? What's the biggest distractor? It is the fact that you love and care for this person. It is the emotion that you feel that is keeping you from making a logical, wise, discerning decision. You need to understand that if you love someone, you will still love them, even though you may not be in a financial position to help them. Now, how many times have people tried to guilt us, making us feel that we are less than loving? Oh, you don't love me because you're not doing this and this and this for me. Because you have not made my problem your problem. Because you have not made my emergency your emergency. You couldn't possibly love me. And there we are again, faced with making a decision based off of emotion. If you are caught up on the love and affection you feel for this person, and you feel the need to get involved, then you can help them figure out a way of solving the problem without it hurting you. That is if you still decide to get involved. Because you do totally have the choice still to not get involved. This is not easy, but you must navigate your way through the situation rationally. Using your ability to discern in the situation will make sure you do just that. You are considering your emotions when it comes to making an overall decision, sure. Do not dismiss your emotions because that is a powerful tool itself. But it is only a tool that is to be used in your ultimate building, right? In your ultimate building of your decisions. And it must be put in its proper context and not given more weight and reliability than it should be given. Meaning that if a person gives their emotions the highest weight and reliability in this situation, then more than likely they're going to make a decision that is going to cause them more problems. Okay. For example, perhaps you can suggest that your cousin consider buying a car that costs less money. That's an option. That's an option, right? Let's keep searching for a car that is equally reliable, low on miles, has a good record, right? A good Kelly Blue Book value as well as a Carfax record, right? But that is better for you financially, right? That's an option. Maybe you can help her construct a budget that will assist her in working towards purchasing a car that she can afford. Look at that. There's already two options right there. Now, keep in mind, you can always still choose not to get involved, right? That is always still your choice. But you say, hey, that's my favorite cousin. So let me do what I can do, right? Let me do what I can do. So let me say, girl, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So let's go ahead.
I don't even know why I just went all the way black like that.
Let's jump on a live. Put you on speakerphone, child. Let's get on our phones and we're gonna search and see if we can
And as soon as I come on, then it wants to act right. You see how it does, right? All right, let's just continue.
find you. I have a friend who sells cars, and maybe he could hook you up, or maybe in about a month. Since you feel like you're gonna have the money to pay me back in 3 weeks, how about we wait 3 weeks? Huh? How about you wait 3 weeks? And I'm gonna come through and I'll pick you up. I'm gonna take you where you need to go in this 3 weeks time period. That's the contribution that I can make as your cousin who loves you, who cares about you, and who wants to help, but is unable to help in the way that you want me to. I got you. I'm gonna come pick you up. I'm gonna leave the house, hour early every day, so I can come pick you up. I'm gonna scoop you up because you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna drop you off at your job. Now you gonna get there about 30 minutes early because I gotta pick you up early so I can just make it to my job across the way. And so I'm gonna pick you up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drop you off. And you can just chill. You can go ahead and get your day started early. That always looks good to the employer when you get there early. Go ahead and get your day started or whatever. And then so I can be across town. So I drop my kids off, and then I can be at work on time myself. And then in 3 weeks, what I'm saying, we're gonna I'm gonna take you down there to the spot because then you're gonna have the $2,500 that you need then, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and get you a car. Now I can deal with that. I can deal with that for 3 weeks, right? I can deal with that for 3 weeks. So that's my contribution because I can't give you $2,500, but I can commit to getting up, leaving the house an hour early every day for 3 weeks so that I could, take you where you need to go until
Yeah,
you
this
get up the
is
money
so
to buy the car
irritating.
yourself. Think about that. Think about that. Now, let's go even further. Here she says, even further, maybe after you look at your own budget, you may determine that you can help her out with some extra money next month or a couple of months down the road. Huh. Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to look at my budget. I can't give you $2,500, but I can contribute, right? I can contribute. Next thing, the possibilities are plentiful, but you must look at the situation fully and objectively in order to discern what you can or cannot do. This is discernment, y'all.
Y'all, I am so sorry. Like, this is so irritating.
This is discernment.
Because I promise you, like, this is
Because
some
it
really
teaches
good
you, hey,
information.
let me
Like,
put
when
my
it's
thinking cap
buffering
on.
like this, you
Y'all
can't
remember
really,
when
like, you
y'all
can't
remember
even
when he used
really
to say,
appreciate You can't even really appreciate the contents for real because it's just, like, irritating. But I really think it's just right now, because we did have a little Wi-Fi issue earlier in the house. Probably, like, I don't know, it seemed like it was, like, right around midnight. The internet started acting a little funny. So it's probably just some Wi-Fi issues, and I probably need to like shut down my computer, restart it, because I don't always do that. Like I'm not I'm not really good at like doing that like normally. I guess I should probably do it every day, but sometimes I leave my computer on for days at a time without rebooting it. Do y'all do that? Or am I the only one who's non-compliant? Like I'm not the only one who's non-compliant here, am I? So that's probably what it is. It's probably why it's buffering like this. But y'all, like this book. Like when I read this book, like can hear how I read it, cause like I love this book. Like I truly love this book. It's just so insightful, and it just really makes discernment like easy to grasp. Because I think like a lot of times, especially in church, they make discernment just sound um I don't know, almost like it's not a skill that you can just like really work on with actual practical, practical knowledge, practical skills, practical practices and stuff like that. Like they just make it seem like it's something that's just on such a spiritual level that you have to be like super saved in order to really tap into that gift of discernment, and it's just not true. So I just want us to like normalize even using the word discernment on a regular basis to where um it lessens it becomes less of this grand spiritual concept and more of an everyday skill that you can work and that you can exercise and be good at it, and become better and better. um so that's just my goal. I've been working on a video series called The Spirit of a Discerning Daughter. And so that's what I'm working on right now. Tomorrow I'm gonna be back. Well, I guess later today, technically, because it's already almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, y'all. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning where I am here in Alabama. And so later today I'm gonna be working on an event that I have coming up for a nonprofit agency a nonprofit organization that I'm a part of. And I'm actually vice president of this organization called Altrusa International. And it's our local Aniston club. Um, and so we're having this big event coming up in October. And I'm the chairwoman of this event. And I've been really like working on making sure that this event is planned out properly. I like I've planned out events before, you guys, like semi big events, like lots of people coming, well over 100 people and stuff like that. And oh, excuse me. And this event is going to be similar to that. Well, whereas like it's going to be a lot of people that come, but this is the first time I've been like really meticulous about the planning process, because I guess it's just like it's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people involved, a lot of, moving pieces, and that, just need that extra attention, so that no details really fall through the cracks. And so that's what I've been working on. Well, that's what I will be working on tomorrow. And so now I'm just finishing out putting this series together, this video series called The Spirit of a Discerning Daughter. And so that series is going to be coming to you soon. So yeah, I'm at this stage in my life, y'all, where I'm just really being like pretty meticulous about what I do and how I plan out things that I'm doing, A lot of things are already just going to come up, right? There's always going to be hiccups. There's always going to be things that you miss or that fall through the cracks. But to top that with not properly planning, it's just neglect on a whole other level, because it's like, at least, when you do all you can to properly plan, you can mitigate a lot of the hiccups that may come along, or a lot of the things that may fall through the crack, a lot of those little details that are missed, but if you don't plan and you already know that things are just gonna come up, then it's like you're actually kind of planning for a failed event, a failed mission, a failed purpose, and that's just not what I want to do. I've just taken this. Now I feel like there's a spirit of excellence that was nurtured in me by my mom. And, she just, it's like in everything she ever did, it was just always just nice and thought out and proper. And, it just was like, things just was right with her, everything she did, she just made sure it was right. Like that, she just did the best she could. And, and she was resourceful, and creative, and I just carry like those same, at least that same spirit of excellence in everything that you do. Like, you just make sure that it's the best that you could possibly do. And then even when it's not your best, that you're resourceful enough to seek out people who are the best at it, that can fill in the spaces where you're weak at, or where you fall short. um so yeah, so like that's that's kind of just my whole mindset going forward with this gala planning. And so later on today, you guys, we're going to be putting all of that together. I'm going to go live so you guys can see me um, create like the invitations and, different assets that we're going to be used, different promo things, and all of that stuff. Like you're gonna see like the behind the scenes of actually planning out an event. I mean, how many times do you really get to see that? It's not something that it seems like is really taught like in schools. Like, how do you plan events? How do you conceptualize something and actually build it to, to be to where it comes to fruition, where it is planned out, or it is executed exactly how you planned it. A lot of people really don't possess those skills. And so when you're able to see it done, and at least be a witness to the behind the scenes process. And I would, actually love to bring you guys into the process, and like, get your feedback and your input, so you feel like you're a part of this too. That's how you learn. And that's, my best way of teaching. So let's do it, y'all. Like let's make that happen. Okay. So I'm done with these video scripts right now. I put together the scripts for the video series, The Spirit of a Discerning Daughter, a series that's going to be coming to you soon. Um, continuing on that spirit of excellence, so that at least when I come to you in these videos, I make sure that my message is clear, is concise, and that you get the benefit that's intended for you. And I can do that best by scripting out these videos and making sure that I have properly planned it out, so that you guys get the maximum benefit. So that's all I have for y'all for now. In the chat, you guys, before you leave, let me know what you're working on, what you are creating, so that I could be your accountability partner. You be my accountability partner. And, we just hold each other to this high standard of excellence, that in anything that we do, everything that we do, we are purposed to do. And you should do it with this, with this spirit of excellence. So yeah, that's all I have for y'all today, y'all. I'm tired. You can tell by the way I'm talking. Your girl needs a nap. So I love y'all. Remember, you are important to me. I need you to survive. I love y'all. Bye bye for now.